the City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 347 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right, we're calling this one 100 wins for very obvious reasons as we tie for the quickest to 100, which is very nice to see as we just keep doing what we do, right? Making history, making moves, getting us where we need to go, building on a season that promises to be even better as certain players arrive and prepare their way here. In the meantime, of course, we do apologize for missing last week. A lot of things went down, but basically we're back. Again, it's going to be a bit of a snap episode tonight, but we are definitely back. Bam is going to join us in a bit. He's on the road. Tony might be joining us. We will see. Again, snap episode. We'll probably get you the full one later on in the week. Now, what did we miss while we were gone? I think the biggest thing, of course, was progress in the U.S. Open Cup. Probably the biggest thing was progress in the Open Cup. Of course, we got the win. Those who were at the game saw it. Pretty easy win, to be honest. Made it a little more dramatic than we needed to, but let's be honest, it was only a matter of time. Of course, now we get to play New Mexico United Wednesday, July 10th, 8 p.m. kickoff. Good news with that one is well, New Mexico is a bit of a giant killer, so it should be a much more competitive match. Also, their ownership is pretty outspoken in what their goals are, so it is kind of a good one. And hopefully, we'll see some New Mexico fans make the trek out, since this one is July 10th, and there's a little bit of time for them to prep and come on out. So hopefully we do see them here. In the meantime, of course, we also had a big match over the weekend. Of course, another road match, which we all kind of worry about. We haven't had the greatest road record, but now things are starting to settle in. This was a big one, of course, as we played Atlanta United. Of course, they're having a very difficult year. 3-4-7 was their record. 13 points in total. Basically in a free fall. Something you wouldn't expect from a highly talented side like Atlanta. Well, of course, we were looking to get things in order and keep moving forward as our defense looks like it's shoring up. Coming off a nice win in the Open Cup, and of course 7-3-4 record with 24 points as we rise back up in the Western Conference as we're supposed to do. Now, lineups were a little bit different. This time we actually went with a 3-4-3. I was telling the boys, is it really going to be one or just one on paper? Guess what? It definitely was one. The good thing about it, of course, our back line is our three strongest backs. We had Long, Chanot, Murillo together this time, holding things down while Campos and Palencia got the freedom to move forward and join the attack more often than not. And of course, drop back to 5 in the back if necessary. Very dynamic lineup, you could say. Of course, Tillman and Atuesta were in the mid, holding things down. The added speed was good in this situation. And of course, up top, you had Boanga, you had Olvera, and Bogus, who could drop back as necessary with this newly formed lineup. Looking over at Atlanta, I honestly was a bit surprised at some of the roster choices on the day, as it felt like they had better guys coming off the bench rather than starting in this one. But this is who they had. They had Guzan in goal, Gregerson and Abram as their center backs, Lennon and Wiley as their outside backs, and Lennon, of course, proved to be very, very useful in this game for them. Sis and Mayumba Nikita as their midfielders. John, I'm not going to say his name, but we'll just say L. Silva, of course, the other midfielder. Tare and Rios were their forwards. Of course, again, substitutions later on in the game, you would actually see some of your recognizable names like Almeida, like Firmino, like Mosquera when it had to happen. I think the big thing in this game, of course, was the big events, right? We were dominating this game at times, getting the good transition play, getting good chances. They held possession, but we held chances, right? I mean, that was pretty much what we were going for in our approach, and it was working up until, the 60th minute. It was looking pretty level in terms of whether we were going to get a goal or not. Thankfully, Brad Guzan made the horrible decision to flick his leg out and give up pretty much a silly red card here, where he was clearing the ball, kicked it right into Matty Bogus's face. He could have possibly got onto it, but we'll never know because Guzan took him out. Review went to red card, and of course, 3 minutes later, Matej Bogus finishes a crazy free kick, looking a lot like the match against Portland. This time it was a deflection, of course, that went right in. And it looked like, hey, things are on the right path. We've got the lead. We should take this game over and call it. What a shock. That's not what happened at all. In this match, basically, it looked like they got, you know, control after they went down a man. Of course, those substitutions do help in that process. But eventually, we let up and give up a red card when Atuesta gets his second yellow, basically taking a guy out before he can enter the box. Uh, could have been a possible give and go chance for them. Maybe it didn't look like it, but it is what it is. You can't do that. And of course, he got his first yellow for dissent in the first half. So yeah, a bit of a foolish end. I will say I was entertained though by his antics at the end of the game there, as he pretty much used the chance to take a timeout after the red card and give our guys a chance to breathe, which I found that to be a little bit interesting on his hand. I'd say big picture. After we survive this match, it's nice to get another win on the road. It's nice to get another shutout. I know our goalkeeper basically had a few moments. Some good saves in this game, but Lloris did have one that was a little scary. But still, things are leveling out. Maybe this three center back situation will be something we might see a little bit more of, since it was pretty stable. I was happy with the win. Again, style wasn't the greatest, but at the end of the day, when you're on the road in Atlanta, which it's hard to get points, you got to take it, and also got to take teams out as they continue to struggle, and now we're even farther down the line. Bam, I don't know if you can hear me here. See if he's up here. He's getting set up actually. He'll come on in a little bit. Basically, he's can I hear you there? Are you there? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Uh, all right. So we're just talking assessment of the match, of course, and covering that and overall thoughts. Again, 100 wins, kind of a sketchy end to things, but we still got the job done. And Bogus, of course, getting another free kick off of a red card. It's kind of poetic. Your thoughts so far, sir?
Look, 100 wins in what 200 and something games is a magnificent achievement. You know, not many teams have won that many in such a short period of time. That's literally almost 50%, which for any club is something great and it has to be rewarded on. The 1-0 win away in Atlanta. Atlanta's always hard to beat at home. Yet to having a bad season, but you know, there's a little rivalry with us where it's a friendly rivalry where the fans get along, have a little bit of talk here and there, and all that kind of stuff. So getting away with a 1-0 win from there is always great. The goal, magnificent goal. You can't really say too much about it. I love Atuesta. He knew what he was doing. He wanted to have a week off, so he got the second yellow card and then decided to lay down for a little bit.
Yeah, no, 2 games in a week. Maybe you didn't want to have that busy schedule. Who knows, right?
Exactly.
Now, Bam, looking at the system change, slight change, of course, having three center backs and allowing Campos and Palencia to move forward there. What are your thoughts about it from the bit that you got to see, and of course, and then overall that look? Are you happy with it?
It's different. I don't hate it, but we'll see what happens this week if he brings it out again.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Is that going to show up back at home? I think there was some necessity here, of course, with a few injuries, right? And then Hollingshead, of course, was there. He did get some time. He was on, he's on the bench there, coming back from injury, and of course, yeah. I mean, again, injuries kind of forced our hand a bit in midfield to see who played. Do you think it looks good seeing Campos and Palencia with more freedom like that?
It is good seeing more freedom. We have to see if they can get that freedom again, and we'll go from there.
Exactly. Minnesota's, of course, a very different animal. They're ahead of us in the schedule. We'll get out into it in a little bit. Yeah, definitely a different feel is what it's going to be. Bam's getting set up now fully. That's why you see him drop off a bit as we get ready to go with our episode here and keep going. Yeah, the other thing I think we got to talk about, of course, is Chanot. And guys, definitely throw your comments on. I want to hear some from you guys on this one. I see there's about 4 popping up now. I will go to you guys in a few minutes here. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about Chanot, because I think Chanot's been a bit of a revelation here. He's coming off as, let's be honest, our strongest defender so far this season. One that we didn't even expect to see this year, and then we got him. And really, I think we'd be in a very different situation if he wasn't in there. So definitely want to hear from you guys and your thoughts about that and the match overall. I'm happy with what he's doing so far. I think it's been important. I think it's good. I think it's stable, and I like his communication. So there it is. All right. So I do see some comments out there. I'm going to throw it up to you guys now. There's about 4 of them on there. Let it rip, of course. Let's see here. We've got Mendo in the mix. There you go. We got, and of course, a good win on the road. Said he wouldn't mind seeing that formation again. And there's a tower zombie on there as well, asking about score prediction as well. The one thing you do know is we never give score predictions on the Heart of LAFC. We might talk about some chances. Maybe you'll get a high scoring situation, but I would say this. I think both sides will get their chances. Both sides are dangerous. We could be in for fireworks. And we'll preview that in a little bit, of course, as Bam gets on here. Other thoughts, of course, who are the best players? Who stood out the most and who did you like? I will say I was very happy with Bogus's performance on both sides of things. He was very active in this game. I did like Atuesta's play outside of the 2 cards, but I think, again, like Bam said, it was kind of necessary for him to do what he did in this match. I did not like, seeing a second yellow, but I think he was kind of in a situation there. I was very happy to see Campos's play. I thought it was improved on the day, getting a little more freedom there. I think they got pressed back a few times from that. We're a little bit surprised by the approach. So they couldn't catch us like they wanted to, and it really took them off their game plan. So that's my thoughts. It looks like Marvin's got a comment on here as well, so I'll throw that on there. It says, love Chanot, great with Long. Do you think it's time to move on from Murillo? It's still a long way to go this year. He does have his chances. He does have his moments. He does have his history with us, and I do think history plays an important role. If he can get it together, get more consistent, which we know he can be, as we get in this stretch run of Open Cup matches and mixed with league matches, and then all of a sudden this crazy Leagues Cup thing coming up. We still need him. It's still critical for him to be on, and to do what he does. Now, will we renegotiate with him at the end of the year? Of course, that's how it works in this thing. And if the price is right, we're still going to keep him. I don't think we'll move on from him. Again, he has had some great service for us. He is a cup winner with us. Have we been unhappy at times this year? Yes. Have we been happy at times this year? That too. Again, the consistency side. So I wouldn't move on yet. I think the story is still being written here. He's got the chances, but I don't think we move on from yet. And what I always want to say to everybody in these cases is, okay, you want to move on from the player. Where's he going to go? Like, what do you think you can get for him? Because if we're unhappy, how are other teams assessing him? Right. So there's always that thing where, well, yeah, they'll just take him. Are you sure about that? Because if you're not happy with what they're doing, you're not going to get much out of the deal. So Bam is on right now. Welcome, sir. You've survived.
Yes, got home. So that's good.
Yeah, so Marvin was asking, so we got you back on here. About Murillo. Are we gonna be moving on from him? I think it's his swan song with us, or we're actually gonna look to make a move with him.
Look, if anyone comes and offers money, you gotta look at that. I think he has hit a ceiling with us, and then we'll see what happens. But I reckon there's gonna be a lot of movement over the next 6 months with the team.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's got to prove himself. I don't think we're getting rid of him mid-season, that's for sure. I think it'll be the long haul with him until the very end, and then we'll see what happens in the wintertime. So there's that. Yeah, we'll see how that one plays itself out, of course. I saw a comment comparing Pooj with Denny Bwanga, and I'm just like, well, who holds the golden boot? I don't think there's much to compare there.
Who owns a trophy?
Who owns a trophy? Who's done the job? I think that's pretty much how it is. The chip counts. So I wouldn't go from there. Better haircut, also Denny Bwanga. Just throw that out there too. But yeah, we'll see them down the line. That's a July 4th conversation and a preview for that match. Honestly, we don't talk about them much, to be honest, on this show until it comes time to have to play them because we got bigger fish to fry, to be honest. All right, so let's move it on. Basically, community news tonight, we're going to keep that short and sweet because we've got a game coming up. I mean, we don't really have time for much. I do know that there was a great watch party this past weekend, a joint watch party that went really well and had a really strong turnout. So that was cool to see. Community is what it is. It's been strong, and we're happy to see where things are going. That's for sure. We'll keep you guys posted with what's going on. I know this weekend there'll be more stuff to talk about. Maybe later on in the week we'll get you some better coverage there. But for this match coming up so quick with Minnesota, that's really the focus, and that's what we've got to do. TIFOs and all that stuff. Again, you'll find out soon enough. I'll leave it at that. Right, Bam? You got to keep things the way they are.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we've heard some things, we've seen some things. If you know, you know. If you look at the right places, it's there. But we're not going to tell you where. We're not going to show you where. But just be on the lookout. There are some good stuff coming up, which is why you have to get a 3252 membership. There are multiple different
critically important.
Yes, there's multiple different levels that you can do. Memberships are still open. I think they close early June. My understanding is that when they might be closing.
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm.
So go out there. It's 35, 55, 65, or if you own a business or you can talk to your boss about doing it, there's a $500 one where you get a nice little plaque with your business name. But definitely get into it. All the membership details are here. Get in there and get to it.
Yeah, and I will say this: if you are in a supporter group and you claim to be 3252 and you do not have a 3252 membership, or if you do purchase one but you forget to mention which group you belong to, get that fixed. Definitely. So each group does really need to have you claim which group you're in when you're joining a 3252 membership. It's really, really important to do that. Again, each club needs our support. Each group needs our support. The more we know about whose members are coming from where, gives us a better chance to help those groups out, to be honest, and better serve the community as a whole. Because at the end of the day, if one is faltering, if one is struggling, we're all here to help each other and pick each other up. I think that's the one beautiful thing about the 3252. I mean, there's always that brotherly competitive rivalries at times, but at the end of the day, we're all here to raise each other up. And so these memberships and the funding from that, it's what gets us all across the line. And of course, the TIFOs you all love, can't get in without it, as Brendan mentions. So, dude, go for it. Make it happen. We're running out of time on that. So don't miss out. There's some really good swag with it too, and you have swag options. And so, I've got my stuff. I like how everything turned out. The pin has been, it's massive. It's really good quality this year. The beanie is too. So yeah, don't miss out on that. Of course, the art show is coming up as well. Bam, do you want to go off on the art show?
Yeah, the art show, reach out to, if you got something you want to put up for the art show, whether it's a painting, whether it's a drawing, whether it's a sketch, whether it's a piece of artwork that you've made out of clay, wood, gravel, whatever makes you think of LA, because we all know LA is a melting pot of cultures. It's not just one culture. There's every culture you can think of is in LA, which is one reason why I love going there. We want photos, paintings, sculptures, anything of all mediums are accepted to come in for the art show. Submissions close on the 23rd of June. If you want any information, reach out to bagivesback@gmail.com. I'll put into the chat here for everyone that's here. Reach out to that, send them an email, know what you want to put in there, and we'll take pretty much anything because it is a great little art show that the BA and the 3052 put on together. So definitely reach out. And I'm pretty sure at the end of it, a lot of them do get sold if you want to sell it to. So you can sell it to and go from there.
Very true. I've submitted art in the past. Not sure about this year. No pressure, no pressure. But it's been good, and the shows have been massive. They really have. We've had some amazing submissions. So, again, this is going to be on June 30th. Time is ticking. You know, I mean, it sounds like it's far away, but it's really not. We're a month out, guys. So, if you can submit, please do. Please do. We definitely need that. Looking on, I know LAFC2 did get we didn't really go crazy into it, but they did get a win this weekend on the road. That's always a beautiful thing. I know Araceli's not on tonight. She'll have more later on in the week, but we did get a win. We keep getting wins from new faces, right? As other ones travel to Atlanta, which is good news, right? The depth continues. The other thing we want to talk about, of course, is Vinyl Club Minute. Bam, do you got a song you want to throw up there? Have fun with that.
Yeah, I'll throw up a song.
All right.
I'll do there's a Aussie artist called All Day. He's a rapper, singer, Aussie artist, does quite well. I was driving into work here the other day, and there was a song came on the radio. I'm like, oh, I know this song, I know this tune, but it wasn't what I thought it was. This guy called All Day did a song called Miss You Still. So obviously we still miss some players that are out injured, all that kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be perfect for this one. So it's Miss You Still by All Day and Club Sport. Go check it out. Really good Aussie artist. He samples a song by another Aussie artist called Cigarettes. The song's called Cigarettes by... Oh my God, now I'm blanking on the name.
Give it a look-see. Give it a look-see. It's okay.
Yeah. Just give me one quick moment. By Ben Lee. That's who it's by Ben Lee. So the samples of the song called Cigarettes Will Kill You by Ben Lee. Even that's a good song, go check it out. But yeah, this week's going to do Miss You Still by All Day and Club Sport.
There we are, another Australian band. We've had a few already this year, so it's good. It's good. Again, it represents us, the voices of this show, stuff we're listening to, things we're interested in, things you're interested in if they're really relevant to the teams we're playing against. So it's always fun to do. And if you guys always got submissions, have at it. Send us a message. I'm not above that. I would love that, actually, especially with my old Vinyl Club family. We love what you guys give us here. Any new music we hear, we love it. We dig it. We've had some new bands too that nobody's heard of before that came out really cool. So do not hesitate. We do enjoy hearing of new music. All right, let's move it on to what we really want to talk about. You know what it is. Yeah, that's right. Minnesota United coming to town. A rare midweek league match this season is something you don't see much of from LAFC this year, as opposed to last year when we seem to have a game every 3 days. A welcome change, right? But we'll take it. We got a midweek. We got to make it happen. Now, looking at what Minnesota has been up to, it's been a strong year for them, I will say. There's been ups and downs, a lot of cardiac kid stuff from them where they're getting last-second victories. Really entertaining team to watch, to be honest, this year. Very, I would say resilient. I think would be a good term for what we're dealing with Minnesota this year, because they do never give up, and the assists are high. Looking at the players and what they're doing so far, again, we're on 24 points. They're on 25. We're chasing them. Let's be honest. Bam, I'll throw it back to you. See some of the names there. Who do we got to look out for? Because there are some good players on this side.
100%. You got to look out for Pookie. Who else is in there? Who's the main one that Reynoso? He's always difficult against us. Anyone with that name always. Franco
Reynoso's, I think, like in the win, right? I mean, he's got his
yeah.
issues still. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't deal with his
Uh,
nonsense anymore. Neither do they,
Rob,
right?
Robin
Look out over
Lod,
him.
Franco Frimpong, their midfield is quite stacked. And that's definitely where you look out for.
Well, it's crazy. Robin Lode has only 12 games played and 10 assists. Like, that's insanity. He seems to be on his way to being the assist leader this year. That's pretty wild stuff. Almost getting an assist a game. Of course, Oluwisi is another great player. He's the one that's had those banger goals at the end. Like, when he comes on, it's trouble. We know about this, right? He's got 6 goals already in 13 games played. Load, talking about MVP level stuff, 4 goals already. Again, 4 goals, 10 assists. He's the story. Jean Sung Bin, 3 goals already. A little surprising, right? And then Wang Wane, 3 goals. Pookie's only got 2, surprisingly enough. But if you know Pookie, you know that it could be. If you give him an opening, man, it's going to be trouble. But yeah, I mean, we've seen this guy play for years. It's always scary with him. Uh-oh. No sound, sir.
There we go. Yeah, when he comes against us, his record is always good against us. He just knows that he needs to switch on when he plays us. Like most teams, they always switch on when they play us. So I reckon it's going to be a very hard fought match. They're going to stick with their usual. Well, they normally play the 5-4-1. I reckon they'll keep with that lineup.
Yeah. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I did notice they've got 11 different players with goals and 10 with goals and 10 with assists. Kind of a weird spread, right?
They share it around quite a lot, which is always dangerous. You can't pick up. I've got to man up that one guy. It's okay. What if I've made it that guy? This guy's going to be free. So you can't double team anyone. It's got to be single man on man.
Yeah, it's very, again, this is going to be a hard game. The last game with the 5-4-1, of course, was a crazy 3-3 drive. Just watch the highlights, guys. This is bonkers. But basically, it was a 3-3 game against the Rapids in Colorado. Minnesota had a 3-1 lead. Okay. Looked like they were going to be fine with this game, and then Colorado snuck back in. 2 halves, to be honest. It was 3-0 at I mean, it was 3-1 at halftime. I mean, again, that 2-goal lead, right? Bam, you always talk about it. Struck them. That's for sure. Now, who played in the last game? Of course, Dane Sinclair, Canadian international, of course, will be in goal. I expect him to be in goal, and he is one heck of a shot stopper. Boxall, Arriaga, and Paddleford were their center backs, with Taylor and Rosales as their outside backs. Watch out for Rosales. He's second in assists on the team this year. Of course, those overlaps are real. Trapp and Harvey were your center midfielders. Lode and Songbin are your outside midfielders. Up top, of course, Uluwase. I don't know why I messed up his name, but he will be your target striker. Expect that to happen. Of course, you know who's going to come off the bench if he's available, right? She tends to anyway, would be Pookie. A little surprising that a partnership hasn't formed, but this is what they're doing, is they're playing you on the counters and trying to kill you on the wings. That's what they're going to do, which, surprise to no one, we kind of do the same thing. That's why you get fireworks against this team. Both are trying to play the same approach to the game, try to catch each other on transition. We can have a bit of a foot race, be a bit of a back and forth. So that's what it was last time. Now, they did have a red card in the game before that. Tapias, who is normally their center back, was suspended for the last match. He might be in the lineup this week. Of course, that would, of course, affect whether Boxall starts, I think, is how they... No, Boxall would start. I think the guy that would sit would probably be Arriaga, if that was the case. But yes, they might have a change at center back because, hey, suspension's up. Outside of that, though, don't expect big changes. I think the last game also, like 2 games before, Pookie was the target man and Langwane was an outside midfielder. So maybe that's what they go with, but 5-4-1 definitely is the look. Right? You wouldn't expect any shakeup, right, Pam? I mean, this is what they got.
Yeah, that is pretty much what they got. Just check. They had no one on yellow card to watch the last game, so they should have the whole strengths back. I was just about to look up to see if their injuries are, and the injuries I don't think is many.
No, not with the usual suspects. That's for sure.
No, yeah, yeah. Who's out is out. There's pretty much there's no new outs there, so I do expect them to come in firing. Maybe because it's such a short turnaround from their last game, they might start Pookie.
I'm thinking maybe, yeah. I think that might affect what our lineup might be, and we'll talk about in a few seconds. But it seems like when they have their full roster, and of course Tapias will be back for this game, Pookie up top, Longwani on the outside. Of course, you shift that thing around, and it gets a little bit more complicated as to where Load fits into this thing. You're not going to see him out of the game, right? He might be your central midfielder in that case. I think Harvey had limited minutes in that game, and then Load came in later and then scored a goal. Yeah, I would think you'd shift Load and Trap into the mid, right? They'd control things.
Yeah.
So for us, it's going to get interesting, right? We have Atuesta now out for this game. It's a huge loss for this game. Let's be real. This one hurts. We don't know if Ilie is going to be back yet. Bam, you're looking at potential pain, or sorry. Is he back? Is he not back? I'm looking at the injury stuff here, and he's listed. We have a long list. It says mid-June potentially for him, which that ain't pretty. This is, of course, according to FOTMob, who's not 100% on reports, let's be honest. But we do have a long laundry list of injured players that could affect our lineup. Now, I'll just read them off because it ain't great. Martinez, of course, back injury, early June. Sanchez, leg injury, mid-June. Kamara, head injury. Man. Mid-June. De La Valle, early June. Good news. He's been out for so long. He finally gets back into the mix. And, of course, Atuesta suspended. So there's some names there, right, that we see a lot. You see Sanchez. You see Kamara. You see Atuesta. Who are your holding midfielders? It's usually Sanchez and Atuesta at times, and now they're both out. Okay. Makes it a really, really complicated situation. Could this be the game where we use Dueñas in that role?
No,
Potential.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think in this game, maybe this is the chance for Matty Bogus to come to the midfield yet again, go back to old ways in a bit, and approach things a little bit differently. It's very hard to see. Midfield situation, again, Tillman, you expect him to be in the lineup. Not a surprise there. Could the 3-4-3 be the story? Maybe that's the solution to our problems in this situation. Bam, what do you think?
We're gonna go to 3-4-3, but I'm gonna say the back line is gonna be Long, Chanot, Hollingshead as a back three. Then the mid, Tillman, Campos, Palencia, Murillo.
Wow.
I'm gonna push him up because he can run. He can run. He can attack. I'm gonna chuck him up there as a defensive midfield, center mid, and top will be Oliveira, Bogus, Bouanga.
Oof, I have a hard time seeing that happen. I do, because Murillo, I don't know about that. Part of me feels like we're gonna go back to what we do best at home. I got a feeling that it's gonna go right back to what we normally see, right? The 4-3-3. Hollingshead back out there now that he's back, right? They go with experience on that side since they like to overload on the wings, so you get with more experience. You see, Palencia going to be back into his role again, and your center backs in this case, I think it's Chanot and Long. I really do think that's going to be the story. Murillo doesn't even start. He comes in later in the game as necessary. The same with Segura. Could be late substitutions to hold things down. He seems to be working well under those circumstances. But I think it's going to be a long Chanot hold it down lineup. Of course, Lloris is in goal. The three guys in the midfield. I mean, don't be shocked if it's Bogus, Tillman, and Dueñas. I have a funny feeling that's what's going to happen, and they're going to hold it down. That's what they're looking for. Of course, that makes the forward situation a little bit more complicated. Of course, if that's the case, it's going to be Bouanga, it's going to be Olvera, and then is it going to be Mueller time? Could it be Mueller time?
You'd have to say so, because maybe Thomas Angel, would you chuck him in?
Yeah. He's starting to get off the mark. He got a nice goal against Loudon in the Open Cup. I know that's not the same competition, guys. I know. But sometimes you just got to get the ball across the line. Doesn't matter who. The finishing is the finishing. So could be. Mueller did get some time in the game against Atlanta. So could that be?
He did.
Of course, and then there's Ordaz. Not like he's chopped liver.
No.
He could get in there and get, he'll go do the scrappy do, as we've heard in past episodes. I love scrappy do. I like that vibe for him. It's real. Could be that too. It's hard, man. I mean,
it's like with the injuries and the red card, it's hard. But for some reason, I don't know why. I just think it's going to be I can see him really being that defensive centre mid.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It is, but I think it's going to be the 4-3-3, but with more of a 3-1-3-3.
We'll see. It's really thin. It really is. That's really tough in our midfield situation. I mean, you look down at who's available, and it's you're looking to LAFC too. You really are. To cover. That's why I think it's by necessity that we drop Bogus back.
Yeah.
Because he can play both sides of the ball. We know that he can be physical. So he would be fine. Tillman has shown and grown that he can play both sides of the ball now. I mean, now he's getting a call up for the national team. He's earned that. Like that's because he's been where he's at. And then I look at who else is left and who else can drop back. There ain't much, man. It's Dueñas. I don't think there's much more of an option. I know. You're like, were we doing this? I mean, he seemed fine in Atlanta, right? Seemed fine in the moments we've given him so far this year. So, trust the kid. Maybe that's the story. Let's throw it out to the comments. I see there's a few comments out there, but it's a tough one. Again, if you have those two out, these guys are the anchors to the midfield, and they're both out. Like they're kind of looking at a worst case scenario here for a midfield situation. Let's see what we got. Mendo wants to know when Tillman's heading to camp. I don't know. Straight up. I'm not sure what reporting time is. We'll look that one up for you guys and approach that the next one. But yeah, he is going. Increased roster in preparation for 2 warm-up matches. So good for him. Let's see. Moving on there. Bam's going to look at that. We'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
Marvin's thinking Segura is a deep lying central defensive midfielder. That could be the case. I mean, drama-wise, I mean, he's not going to get into too much trouble up there, and that could be something we do. Could Chanot be that guy? He seems so comfortable with the ball lately. Maybe. Let's see. Mendo says it looks like Murillo misses his buddy Palacios. Don't we all miss Palacios? I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, we do. Marvin's also questioning the Duenas starting role against the Minnesota midfield as powerful as it is. Again, tough situation, that's for sure. Having those two out at the same time I don't think we were expecting to see that, right? But that's football, right? You got to make things work with what you got. So we will see. It is the big one. Bam, did you get the update on the US team?
Yeah, looks like they start reporting on May 28th.
May 28th.
So tomorrow.
Tuesday's reporting. So we're going to be without Tillman too?
I reckon like that's when they're supposed to start reporting. So what's that? Game is Wednesday. We might be.
Yeah, we might be in trouble here. But then again, we've seen it before where a player delays the departure by a day because they got a game. So
Yeah.
don't be surprised by that as well. A little bit of mystery for you all to see who goes. And if he's out, there's no choice in it but Bogusz coming back, dude. There's not an option at this point.
True.
Right? And then the 3-4-3 might be your best bet.
Unless if he's out, you just have Dolly go into the room with a hat and with positions in it, walk around and go pick out from the hat, see where you're playing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I would be surprised. I gotta be honest. I think he'll play the game and then leave afterward. So we'll see. I'm still calling Duenas, guys. I'm predicting Duenas. Again, too many out. There's too many out.
I hope to see Duenas. Yes, something different. Let's see something. Let's see what we can do.
He's been fine. Like I honestly, he's not as good as the others who start, of course, right? The pay rate's a little different there. But I would trust him better than say his right back, right? He's been looking promising in LAFC too. He's been showing some leadership there. Why the heck not? Right? Yeah. So 3-4-3 if Tillman is gone. If Tillman is out, 3-4-3 is pretty much a guarantee. And they'll shove up the outside backs into the mix. And you just survive at that point because what it's going to turn into is a 5-man defense with 2 guys in the midfield doing what they got to do in a center forward that's going to drop low. Survive. Get them on the counter attack. Yeah, it's tough. But again, Duenas is your guy, guys. I'm calling it now. All right, let's see what else they got. Yeah, Marvin's he's assuming the 3-4-3. Tillman, Bogusz midfield if Tillman is available. Yeah, Marvin, you're right. You only need 2 solid midfielders in that formation because you know what the others on the outside are doing. So, and last time, I mean, dude, Tillman and Atuesta, like we were safe. But if they're both out, yeah, not easy. Mendo's looking at that LAC2 line. I mean, let's be real. The story is Duenas there. So there you are. There it is. The good old mystery lineup. We're going to not quite know what it's going to be. We can't really predict it this time because, well, necessities kind of foster that situation. So back to you, Bam, sir, knowing how this is going to go. Expectations, what do you need from the guys to get through this tough match? Let's be honest.
Knowing what we know, all that kind of stuff, if we can get out of there with a point, I think that will be a win for us. Yes, we are playing at home. We're playing a really good Minnesota United that don't give up, don't give in. We've got to match their energy, match their determination, and match their just hunger for the ball and hunger to win. And if we do that, we can sneak the 3 points, but this is going to be a real test to see if our last few games have been just riding on a high or if we really dug in and if we can keep going for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think there's magic at home. I'll throw that out there. We do play at a different level when we're at home, especially when a crowd is actually there. Don't look at the Open Cup guys. League matches. Yeah, we step up at home. We just do. It is a fortress. We get the job done there. That's historically how it is, no matter what the lineup is. We show up. Again, I have confidence in the players that are still here, whether those are out, they're out. I still think we'll be fine. The 3-4-3 is something that no one's ever seen from us, really, except for Atlanta. And you saw how well they did under the circumstances, losing at home. So, yeah, expect something special from the guys. Expect a revamped lineup if we have to have it. I hope the decision is made that Tillman gets to delay his trip out by a day. I hope that, again, common decency of it all, we need him out there. Suspensions garner that. So let's hope. Let's hope that is the story. So we will see. Thank you, everybody, today for the comments. Y'all rock for doing that. Short notice. Those that did make it on, good on you guys. We gave you guys a 15-minute warning and you still showed up. So y'all rock. Shout out to Defenders of the Bank. We kind of moved in on their time a little bit there. Sorry about that, boys. As we're all trying to get our episodes out before the short Wednesday turnaround. But hey, there we go. Everybody's got their content out there, guys. Support all the podcasts. They're all freaking amazing, fun to listen to. Community has always been strong. It always is strong, and we're thankful to be a part of that. So yes, let's call this one. About 46 minutes in. Let's go get ready for the next game. Which, of course, how do we close out? It's tradition. We know what we do with this thing. Thank you guys. That's essential. And give our final thoughts of the day. So, Bam, after your long commute home, speedy commute home, safe, thankfully, your final thoughts, sure, as we wrap up episode 347.
Final thoughts today, guys. As always, mental health, it's a major part of all of us. Conversations can save a life. Call your friends, message your friends, check in on them, even checking on your friends' partners. Sometimes they're going through stuff as well that your friends don't want to burden you on with you and all that kind of stuff. But always check in on each other. Make sure you're doing all right. If you need to reach out, message us on Twitter or wherever. And, we're always up for a listen, up for a chat. Even just talk about random football leagues around the world. You want to talk about third division, state league, Victorian soccer? Hit me up. I'm happy to talk about that. You want to talk about this random game over here? Hit me up. Well, I'm happy to talk about that. Just reach out to each other. Although a lot of football leagues are winding up at the moment, there's plenty of football still to go on. You just got to know where to look for it, search it. Get the Euros coming up, which I think is going to be a perfect time for you guys. You guys have some great times. For me, it's not so great times. You've got 11 p.m., 2 a.m., and 5 a.m. games. But, always reach out. Go watch some Euros and just enjoy your life. Get out there, get out to the game, and just have fun.
Well said, sir. Yes, the Euros are always amazing. My favorite, of course, was Euro 96. I know some of y'all weren't born yet, but hey, the Euros have always been special. Thank goodness it's not pay-per-view these days like it used to be. Readily available. Spam knows about the pay-per-view days for the Euros, man. It was not cheap to get those packages. Better times. There's some interesting developments with some of these national teams, some swan songs for players. We're not going to see them after this tournament. Their careers are done after this. A lot to play for a lot of these teams. A lot of windows closing for some of the older teams, right? More established teams. So this is going to be a very interesting tournament. I think unpredictable tournament, of course, is taking place in Germany, and home cooking is always nice. So we will see how that plays. So you're shaking your head, I know, but I think Germany's chances are hinging on one player staying healthy for the duration. If he's not, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
so,
but you're gonna lose the first game.
Not a chance, man.
Yeah,
not a chance.
The mighty Scots are gonna beat you.
I understand your love for Scotland. I get it, dude. We all love Scotland. We do. I mean, it's their fans are on point, man. They're fun to watch. And the team's always a little hard-nosed, so I always love that kind of football. Anyway, but yes, watch the Euros, guys. Watch Copa America when we get it, because we have it here, right? Summer of soccer is upon us. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But hey, I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Y'all better be there. Midweek matches are tough, but if you can make it, please do. Boys need our support. This is a big match. They need us on point for this. Big time. 3252's got to show up full bore to support the guys, because it's going to be a tough one for them. That is for certain. And of course, as Bam says, look out for each other. Definitely, again, holiday weekends, long weekends. Yeah, reach out. It's a good thing. And of course, be safe. Always be safe. And we'll see you guys on the flip. That's for sure. We'll try to get another episode out this week. No promises, but we're definitely going to try our best to, because we want to preview every match. We don't like missing them. It's sometimes a necessity. We've been pretty consistent. So 1 week off, yeah. One that happens. 2, that's a rarity. So there it is. All right, guys. On that note, final word to Bam.
Stay golden, everyone.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.